Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 2nd of March. I almost said April then. No, it is April. I'm glad it is April. Anyway, so there we are. It is April. Phew, I'm glad I'm in the right month. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and well, we've seen a bit of a sell-off this morning, this week so far. What for today then? Coming down the time frames here, nothing's really changed in this. We've still got lower highs coming through, another lower high confirmed yesterday. It's looking a little bit soft where it's sitting at the moment, and well, to me it looks like it could be heading south down towards that sort of S1 area. In fact, very tempted to be chipping straight into it, but I do like to wait until post 8 o'clock. But that certainly looks like it's setting for the downside there at this stage. Okay, not much else to say on that. The pound dollar then. Just updating something here, sorry, whilst I'm doing this. Working on two things at one go, it's always dangerous, isn't it, particularly when you're recording. So the pound dollar's been holding up better, and if anything it keeps on looking like it could sort of pitch up at some stage. It's certainly held up better than the euro. This 4 hourly sort of movement is just tightening and tightening and tightening, and at some point it may well fire away. Now, which direction is the good question. Looking at it, it's certainly not clear in terms of which direction. You would have thought from the way that it's moved upwards into this sort of this area of consolidation, it could continue to the upside, but nothing can be guaranteed in these markets, and it's really a case of maybe drawing a trend line across the lows for now. But we've seen this happen recently where you just sort of see it break the low and then just move back up, so it may not be sufficient to get in a trade. We'll have to look at this morning, but certainly much more consolidated where it sits at the moment, and maybe due a decent old move when it goes, but that's when it goes, of course. Dollar yen, well, the yen seemed money may be running back to safety, and it sort of is maybe benefiting from this at the moment, and well, we've seen a nice pivot swing put in on the dailies there. Not quite yet got down to the new monthly pivot. Certainly heading that way. Looking at the lower time frames, lower high in this, it's quite a smooth old run on this 4 hourly, slow but surely running south. Is it going to turn around if we're going to see the pound and the euro selling off properly? Well, maybe. Just looking through this, it's got the potential to push on back up there. One thing is, if we see proper dollar buying rather, we could see the yen really give up this quite quickly. But for now, it's working its way to the downside. Aussie dollar caused a bit of a head scratching yesterday when it did a 120 pip move roughly in about a minute actually, or less. Looking at it at the moment on the dailies here, it's put in a bearish pivot swing, looks a bit soft now, coming through, and well, it's lower highs, lower lows, 4 hourly there, looks softish, but it's, oops, come right away, yep. It looks like a 5-minute chart this when you look at it. It's something more like you might expect to it, but this huge move here on the hourlies here, everyone's scratching their head. I think I may have a bit of an answer about it, because if you look at the order book that's sitting here, if I can show you, you'll see that prior to it actually firing off, there was there was a stack of sell orders sitting below, so it could have gone either way here. It was almost a flick of the coin there, and it started picking up at the hour before. Someone had pointed it out in a trading room, then pulled back and was backfilled. We saw the selling orders coming back into there, sell orders expecting, but then whatever drove it in, there was about 5 or so minutes before, or 5 minutes. It took about 5 minutes to build up, but it was 1 minute that really pushed. But if you break it down to the minute chart, you can actually see it started building and then suddenly flew. Anyway, Where for today? Well, we can see it's still got a whole stack of sell orders sitting below, but and it's been backfilled a bit with sell orders. I'll need to refresh that chart I just showed you, but to the upper side here where it missed out, there are buy orders sitting on there, so be aware. But really, it from here, this weak sort of patch in here, it does look like it may eventually roll. Okay, spend a bit of time on that. CAD. The CAD, well, yesterday pushed back up. Dollar CAD, the dollar strength coming through again there. Weak CAD. It does look like it's consolidating here. I do wonder the way it's consolidating whether it'll roll back a little bit at some stage. I read somewhere Trump was trying to agree with and do something with the oil companies. Whether that will push out further, maybe he's just looking after his own oil companies. So at this stage, you could be looking for the breakdown here. There's an obvious trend line across these lows here, which I haven't drawn on, but that could see it breaking down further. But I'm very distrusting with the Canadian dollar. It can run odd ways, so for an intraday point of view, I would just leave that anyway. That's pretty much it now. We'll just quickly flick up as I've been doing it. It's been hitting the headlines quite a lot. The price of oil has pushed up a couple of dollars overnight here, almost back to lows again yesterday, but as I say, picked up a couple of dollars through the Asian session. S&Ps, we'll look at those for you here, just on a 4-hour basis, and you can see they were rolling over. Maybe we've still got some more rollover to go from here. It's all the way back to its weekly pivot there. Maybe it's got more to go. It does look soft. This is the last point of support before it really starts putting lower highs in, or starts changing. So possibly changing direction back low again. At this point, it's probably still consolidating in a more of a range on this 4-hourly chart. So it's back into a sort of a range. If it can hold in, bounce, that's fine. It stays in range. These prior highs look like a possible target. If it rolls from here, well, then we're looking probably down to the S1, maybe even down to the lows around about 22. Right, that's pretty much it. News-wise today, not that it's going to count for much. Well, it won't count for much because it's such light news anyway. We've got the Canadian trade balance coming out at 1:30, and the US unemployment data, unemployment claims leading into non-farm payrolls. Expected to be quite high, the forecast there of unemployment, 3.6 million even, expected to be showing it as unemployment claims, but that's expected and pretty much built into the price. Okay, have a great one. Bye for now.